Hi there, it's Rob again with the Balkan School of Languages. If you're new here, we're a language school based in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, and this channel is dedicated to helping you improve your English language skills. So today I've got another quick video for you on idioms. So as a quick reminder, an idiom is when you use an image in order to convey a message instead of just explaining with words. So it's something that can help you be more concise. It's something that can make what you say funny, and it can help you sound more like a native speaker. So that's my objective here, to try and give you 3 expressions which I think you can really use on a daily basis. I use these very often, and I hope you'll find that you can too. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so I'll give you the expression, I'll explain the definition, and I'll give you 3 examples of how we could use this. So number 1 on the list is a recipe for disaster. Be careful with the pronunciation of this word recipe. A lot of people will say recipe or recipe, or I don't know, but the correct pronunciation, it's not necessarily logical with the spelling, but it's recipe. Recipe. So here, a recipe for disaster. So this means a situation that will lead to bad consequences. So an example where you could use this could be putting John and Paul together in the same team is a recipe for disaster. So, you have these 2 guys that have a bad relationship, and you know that the consequences will be bad. You can say this is a recipe for disaster. Another example could be not correctly preparing for this audit would be a recipe for disaster. Again, it's very visual. It's better than just saying this is a bad idea. Okay, essentially you're improving your language instead of saying it's a bad idea. One last example for you would be going on holiday with my mother-in-law would be a recipe for disaster. Okay, so I often use examples with mother-in-law just because it's funny. I actually have a good relationship with my mother-in-law, so if you're watching this, please don't take offense. Okay, number 2 for you now is the idiom to be on the same wavelength. So a wavelength, it's how you measure sound or how light travels. So when we're saying wavelength here, we're talking about sound and communication, different types of communication. If you're on the same wavelength, then you can communicate well. So the definition is to be thinking the same way. Okay, to have the same way of thinking, essentially. But it comes back to this image of being able to communicate easily with each other. So an example would be, I can't work with John. We're not on the same wavelength. So it's just difficult to communicate with this person. Some people we have a better feeling with than others. Another example, I can feel this project is going to be a big success. Everybody is on the same wavelength. Okay, again, a nice positive one here. You're on the same wavelength, so you can communicate well and you're thinking the same way. Last example, I had to resign from my previous company. We just weren't on the same wavelength. Okay, again, weren't communicating well, we weren't thinking in the same way, so it wasn't possible to work together. Okay, the third and final one for today. It's not really an idiom because there's not really an image we're using. It's kind of an expression or a proverb, but it's essentially the same category, and it is to say better safe than sorry. So, as I said, there's not really an image. It means literally what you say. But when you say this, it's very concise. It's a concise way of saying something very long, because the definition would be careful. If you're not, there may be negative consequences. So this is a very long thing to say, and instead you can reduce this down to 4 words and have the same message by saying better safe than sorry. For example, I'm going to get a professional to change the brakes on my car. Better safe than sorry. Or, I'm going to check with the compliance department if it's okay to do this first. Better safe than sorry. And finally, I'm going to take an umbrella on holiday with me to England. Better safe than sorry. So that's it for today, a quick one for you. 3 expressions or idioms that native speakers really use. And as I said, if you're a French native speaker, you have the equivalents of these in your language, so that hopefully that will make it easier for you to put them into practice. As always, if you found the content useful, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, share with family and friends. So thanks again for taking the time to watch the video, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.